Joints and Glands book. And we've covered the face and the neck. Today we're on to shoulders. Okay, and then next week will be arms, wrists, and hands. So I'm going to do a little bit of the face and neck practice, and then we'll go right into the shoulders. Okay, so when I hit shoulders, I'm going to pull my chair back just so you can see my arms better. Okay, alrighty. So we're going to start seated, and however you're most comfortable, because you'll be sitting for about 10 minutes now. So if you want to be down on the floor, that's fine. If you want to get up into a chair, get up into a chair. Okay, and we're just going to sit up nice and tall through the center line of the body. Good. Let's take our shoulders up to the ears, press back, release down. Good. And just a nice soft lift here in the chest. Good. We're going to actually start this morning with our big smile. We're going to clench the teeth, pull the lips open. Good. And maybe you can make your neck kind of tense too. And then relax that, let your face soften. Okay, let's do that again. Clench your teeth so your molars are kind of pushing into one another. Pull your lips open as wide as they go. And relax. Good, and now we're going to do our face squint. So you remember this one. The center of gravity is the tip of your nose. We're going to purse our lips, squeeze our eyes as if your whole face was kind of scrunching in towards your nose. And relax. Okay. Let's do that again. So face scrunch. And relax. Good. Now we're going to open the mouth and wrap our lips around our teeth. So we're making a letter O. Good. And now keep that going and drop your chin down towards your chest. Okay. And now with your head released, you're going to imagine that your bottom lip is moving towards your chin and your top lip is moving towards your nose. So your teeth will all be showing. And now relax your face and let's move into some neck rolls. So right ear towards right shoulder and across back. And just remembering with all of our neck practices, we're keeping the shoulders down as best you can. Yeah, we'll do about 3 in each direction. So whenever you've hit 3, we'll be moving the other way. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our eyes forward and we're going to do our turtles. So for the turtle movement, we're first looking forward. So kind of craning the neck, looking forward. Head comes out. And then we're going to bring our head first, it's back to neutral over the shoulders and then beyond the shoulders a little bit. And then tuck your chin. The better double chin you make, the better it is. And relax. Okay, let's do one more turtle. So we're looking forward. And then pull your head back to neutral over your shoulders. That's where we normally want it to be. And then just see if the head will move back a little more. Chin tucks, double chin. Hold here. And relax. Good. Okay, let's do some of our eye exercises. Again, we're looking straight ahead and we're going to be doing circles with the eyes. So head doesn't move. Eyes are going to look straight up. And if you imagine a clock in front of you, you're looking up at 12 o'clock. And then just start to move around the face of your clock. If it's helpful, you can follow a finger. And we're coming all the way back up to 12. And now we'll take it in the other direction. So we're moving counterclockwise. So looking as far as you can without moving your head. Good. And now we're looking up at the forehead. Keep holding, looking up at the forehead. And then without moving your head, see if you can look down at your chin. And then up at your forehead. And down at your chin. Bring your gaze forward and now look as far right as you can, again, without moving the head. Across center, as far left as you can. And as far right. And left. And then bringing your gaze straight ahead, we're going to squeeze the eyes shut. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then let your eyes soften, open. And we're going to blink quickly. And then just relax the eyes. Good. All right, let's do 2 lions of breaths and we'll move on to shoulders. Okay, so if you're sitting cross-legged or in a chair, you can have your hands up by your hip joints. So I usually have my hands right up here and I'm gonna slide my hands down my leg. Okay, so that's the movement with the hands. Take a nice big inhalation into the belly. And remember, we're making this a little fancier by looking at the third eye. So you're looking up at the space between your eyebrows on your exhale. Take a nice big inhalation. Let's do it again. And this time we're going to hold. Okay, inhale. And then relax your face, sit back. All right, so now for the shoulders, I'm just going to move back a little bit so you can see my upper body. So I'm going to be maybe a little bit further from my microphone. Bring it closer. Okay, and we're going to start with shoulder lifts. So we're going to be on the left side to begin. And what we're going to do is bring the left shoulder up to the ear and really squeeze, and then just drop. Okay, so we'll do 3 of those. Again, left shoulder up, give it a squeeze, drop it. And again. Good. And now move to the right side, right shoulder up, drop. And 1 more. Good. Now we'll bring both shoulders up and squeeze. And this time we're going to lower slowly and gently. We'll start bringing both shoulders down, slow, slow, slow. All right, very good. Okay, and now we're going to be doing rotations 1 side at a time. So again, we're starting on the left. We'll come forward, up, around, and back. Let's do 3 big circles. And as best you can, just keep your arm relaxed. So the elbow might be slightly bent. Fingers are soft. Good. And you can really focus when you're doing 1 side at a time. So what's the biggest circle? Excuse me. And now we're going to take the same side and roll forward. And then relax. Okay, same thing on the right side. We'll start by moving back. The shoulder comes up, back, down and forward. Good. And just notice if you can relax your left shoulder. So we start to notice that 1 side of the body likes to kind of mirror the other. And you might be kind of lifting the shoulder because the right one's moving. So really keep the left side relaxed. Good. And then when you're ready, other way. And just concentrate so you can keep your movement big. And you can imagine what comes next, both shoulders together. So when you're ready, up by the ears and back, down and through. So this is one of my favorite movements, and I think I do this every time I practice. It gets to a lot of tension. Okay. And if I'm only doing a few, I'll just stick to this moving back because that's what we usually need to do. Open up the chest, all right, bring our shoulder blades together. But we're being thorough today, so we're going to roll forward as well. Back. Good. Keep going. 2 more of those. And then when you're ready, just relax the arms down. And now for this one, we're going to bring the arms straight out from the body and make sure your shoulders are down. So we're not here. Relax. And my 2 thumbs, as you can see, are looking at each other. We're going to be rotating at the shoulder joint. So rotate, thumbs open. Rotate, thumbs down. Good. So exactly where your mobility is will depend. You might find that one arm moves a little better than the other. It's basically journey of the thumbs. Okay. And maybe they're making a half circle, maybe they're making 3/4 of a circle. Let's do one more. Roll down and up and up. Okay. Relax the arms for a moment. And now the palms are going to be facing the back of the room. Arms are straight, so my hands are like this. Okay. And we're going to inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, arms down. Okay. Same thing, we'll do about 5, just like that. And as you're moving up, see if you can keep your shoulders relaxed. So your shoulders are not moving up towards the ears. Sometimes as my arms are lifting, so are my shoulders, right? I'm exaggerating, but shoulders are down for the movement. Okay. One more. Okay. Again, relax your arms for a moment. Now we'll come back to that first position where the arms are out in front, palms are up. And we're just going to bend at the elbow, touch your shoulders, and then come out long. Let's just do 5 like that. You might exhale as we open, inhale, come back. Yeah, these little movements can get tiring after a while. They're good. And in, and out, and relax. Go around a little bit. Good. Now we're going to do our chicken wing movement. Fingers are on the shoulders, elbows are close. And we're going to inhale, elbows up, back, exhale, down and through. This is another one of my favorites. Do about 5. And your fingertips are just kind of sitting on your shoulders. As best you can, try to link your breath with the movement. Inhaling up and back, exhaling down. Okay, one more. And now the book gives a variation of this with a different placement of the hands. So we're still going to have our hands on our shoulders, but now the palms will be facing and my thumbs are sitting on my shoulders. Got it? Good. So it's kind of the palms are near your ears. Same thing, elbows up and around. Let's just do 5 circles around and back. Good. Fingers are spread. So nice and gentle. Good. 2 more, just like that. And then relax down. Okay, next we're going to be doing arm scissors. So when we're doing these, I always think it's better to keep your elbows bent just a little bit. And we're moving a little bit slowly so we can pay attention not to go too far. Okay, so we'll start by right arm on top and then open. And then left arm on top and open. Good. When you kind of got it going, you might start to link the movement with your breath. Maybe inhale. Actually, inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. Good. And again, as you're moving, shoulders are down. So to start to notice, especially when the arms start to get tired, shoulders might start moving up. Right? It's a good way to compensate. And 2 more. and then relax. Shake it out a little bit. So next we're going to do our palm pumps above the head. So I don't know if this is going to fit in frame, but you know it. We're interlacing the fingers. Hands are above the head, and we're going to flip the palms away. Okay. And then as you inhale, elbows straighten, push up through the palms. As you exhale, elbows soften, hands are by the head. Okay, so 4 more. Inhale, push up through the hands. Exhale, relax. Let's see if there's anything else quite good in here. Okay. And now the next time you're pressing up, let's just stay there and breathe. Okay, so pressing up through the palms, nice and tall, neck stays soft, no strain, no tension. Okay. And then relax. Okay, shake it out. Okay, so let's do one more thing. There are a lot of shoulder practices, and if we do too much, you might end up being sore, right? Especially if we're not used to some of these more refined movements. Okay, for this one, we're interlacing the fingers. The elbows stay very bent. And as you inhale, bring the hands over the head. And then your hands might go back a little further, depends on your shoulders. So maybe they go behind the head, excuse me, but don't ever force it. And then as you exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart. Okay, inhale, hands back, exhale, by the heart. Okay, let's keep going. One more. Inhale, bring the hands back and forward. And let's keep them here for just a moment. Flip the palms away. Straighten your elbows and press out. And relax. Good. There are a couple more shoulder ones, and I might incorporate them next week, but I don't want to overdo shoulders. Okay. So now we're going to move into the standing part of our class. So I'm going to come back onto I didn't bring a mat today. I'm going to come back to my cushion. And if you want to stand up and have a block handy. I'm just going to grab water. All right. So as you're setting up on your mat, let's come into our mountain pose. Okay. So as I look down now, my feet are parallel, my ankles are underneath my hips. Okay. Soft fists with the hands. We're going to do elbows back, straight arms. Good. So you worked hard with your shoulders, so just do this very gently. The arms are just flailing. Good. No tension all the way down into the fingers. And then we're going to step a little bit wider and do our twists. Okay. So wide stance, still soft fists with the hands, eyes are forward. Okay. And see if you can feel a nice lift up through the crown of the head. And then let's make our way back to our mountain pose. And now we're going to be lifting up onto the toes and bringing our arms overhead. So as you inhale, arms are forward, lifting up onto the toes, arms are overhead. And then as you exhale, lowering the heels, arms down, softly back. So keep going. We end up continuing to work on shoulders, right? It's a part of so much that we do. But we're also thinking here about balance and strengthening for feet and ankles, which we will get to later on in December as far as our joint single hands practice. Good. This time, let's come up and we'll stay. We're up on tiptoes. Arms are overhead, breathing, fixing the eyes, maybe on a gazing spot. And then heels down, arms. Okay, so we're going to do our hip joint rolls now. So you can do them standing right in the middle of your room, or you can find support for your hands. So a wall, a chair, anything handy. And we're bringing weight into the left foot and lifting the right knee as high as it goes. Open up to the side, around back, and forward. Good. So as my hands are resting on my pelvis, I'm reminding my pelvis to be quiet. Right? Because if I started kind of like lifting my hip, I can make a much more impressive circle, but it's not my hip joint anymore. And then we'll do 5 the other way. Knee goes back, up, through. And enjoying any clicks and cracks that come with this movement. 2 more. Okay. And then land your foot. Let's walk a little bit. Excuse me. And then we're ready. Left hip joint. So weight comes into the right foot, left knee lifts. Press open, around and through. Just looking for the biggest movement available this morning. Okay, body's a little different every time we do this. And when you get to 5, we'll switch directions, taking the knee back, around and through. One more. And bring the foot down. And now let's take a stance a little wider. Soften into the knees. Heels of the hands are in the low back. And let's just bring the pelvis around. Yeah. So cleaning out the barrel. And we'll do 3 big revolutions in each direction. When you're ready, switch. And then come back to standing. All right, so we're going to do our Taoist breath now from standing. So if you want to have a block for your hands to land on, you can have that in front of you. Or you could just let your arms pretzel, or if they come to the floor, they can come to the floor. Okay, so we have a little bit wider of a stance, a little longer than hip distance apart. Take a nice big inhalation. Hands behind the head, exhale, push out. Hands come to the shoulders, inhale into the heart, shoulders back, lift up. And then exhale, let's soften our knees, push through the hands, round the spine, just like your cat pose. And then inhale, nice and tall. We'll take a little back bend, so lift your heart to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we're coming forward, soft knees. Hands might land on that block. Hands might land on the floor, or you may pretzel. And we're going to drop the head and shoulders if that's comfortable for you. Good. So we're in our ragdoll position. If the ragdoll position of having your head dropped makes you feel dizzy or uncomfortable, another option here is big bend in the knees, and my forearms are resting on my quads. And then I have my head up. Okay, so forward folding can always be done with the head up as an option. So then when you're ready, we're going to start to roll ourselves back up. If you're in the position I'm in right now with a flat back and my head raised, you'll tip back up. So one more Taoist breath. Big inhalation. Good. Shoulders should be nice and free. Exhale, push through the hands. Fingertips on the shoulders. Inhale into the heart, eyes up. Exhale, soft knees. Push through the palms. Inhale, stand tall, little back bend, heart to the ceiling. And then exhale, let's come forward into whatever version of forward fold is best for you. Good. Just hang out here and breathe. And then we're softening our knees. Gently draw the navel in and roll back up. Shoulders to the ears and back. And good. All right, back to mountain pose. And now we're going to take the right leg and step across the left. Inhale the arms up overhead and the left hand holds the right wrist. Little dip to your left. And just stay here. See if you can have body weight in both feet. More balanced over the arches of both feet. Taking a few big breaths into the right side of the body. Good. If it feels good, you might even feel that the left hand is kind of gently pulling the arm. And then step back to neutral. Bring your arms down for a moment. And now the left leg is going to step across the right leg. Inhale the arms overhead. This time the right hand holds the left wrist. And it's a little dip to your right. Again, we're just holding. Breathing into the left side of the body. And really focusing on the left side of the rib cage. Down into the side of the waist. And then when you're ready, step back to mountain pose. We're going to press up through the palms again. Inhale, big stretch. Exhale. Good. And walk a little bit. And we're going to do a few moving forward bends. So from our mountain pose legs, ankles are under hip joints. Fingers are interlaced on the back of the pelvis, so right on the sacral area. Inhale, tip forward. When the body stops, big bend in the knees, push in. Exhale, come up. Good. Let's do 5 more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale, come up. Good. And as you're moving, see if you can think about your spine, your shoulders, your neck, all staying neutral. Good. Nothing going on from the pelvic floor up to the crown. Good. This time, let's stay as we come forward. Get a nice flat back. If you'd like to do a chest opener here, you could straighten your elbows and bring the arms up off the back. If your shoulders are tired, just keep them soft and lifting towards the ceiling. Good. And then arms come back down, deep bend in the knees, and come up. Good. We're going to do a version now of the forward fold with the legs crossed. So it's kind of fun because it's a challenge to balance. And you're probably going to want your block at least to start, and then you can push it away if you don't need it to hold the pose. Okay. So there's my block where within arm's reach. I'm going to bring my right leg across my left and just make sure that your back leg isn't locked. Okay, so if you tend to hyperextend your knees, just notice that your left knee can still bend. Good. Hands are on the hips. And just as we did before, I'm going to tip out over the floor, nice and long. And when you get to the place where your body stops, see if your hands can find that block. Okay, and now there are many things you can do. You can stay flat back if that's better for you in forward fold. Otherwise, I'm starting to slowly drop my head, slowly drop my shoulders. And if the floor seems to be right there for you, the fingers can come to the floor. Good. So moving in slowly and finding the best position. And once you're there, let your shoulders fall, head fall, if you're doing the ragdoll version. Notice that your body weight is in both feet. And we're going to be here for about 3 more breaths. And then when it's time to come up, if you want to come to the block first, go ahead and get your body a little higher. Hands are up on the sacrum, interlacing the fingers. And tip, 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 tip. Back to mountain pose. Okay, walk a little bit. And then we'll try that again, this time with the left leg in front. So for me, this is more difficult. My right leg crosses easier than my left. So bring your left leg across. And if you find that your legs aren't as tight this way, that's fine. Again, the right knee can bend and back. And hands on the hips, tipping out over that block. Tip, tip, tip. Good. And when your body stops, see if your hands can find the block, either flat or tall. Good. Take a minute, find your balance, and if all is well, you can either stay here or the hands might walk onto the floor as the head and shoulders drop. Think about both feet holding the weight of your body, and if you're kind of leaning out to the right or left, let's see if we can bring the pelvis right into center line. And we're here for about 5 long breaths. And then we want to get out of this gracefully. So let's bring our hands back to the block. Good. And then hands are up on the sacrum. Tip nice and slow. Tip, tip, tip. Good. Step your legs open. And again, let's walk. All right. So next we're going to come into our lunge position, into our warrior one legs. So we're standing at the back of the mat. And I had this resolution to keep my mat here so I would never forget it. And I brought it home. But it's not very slippery today, so we'll be okay. I'm going to rotate my left leg open just a little bit and step forward with the right. Okay. So you know the stance. This is your warrior one stance, bending down into the right knee and coming straight. Just feet as needed. Now we're going to do some swimming. So the next time the front leg is straight, the hands are at the heart, fingers are forward. We're going to bend down into the knee, inhale and reach. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale. So keep going. Kind of a breaststroke movement. It's funny too, because as I look at myself in my gallery, I'm a mirror image of what you're seeing. And so if I'm thinking like my right hand is too high, I start to lift my right hand. It should be that one. They're kind of correcting the wrong way. Good. Next time you're back, let's bend down into the right knee. Bring the arms up behind the ears. When we did the Foundations of Yoga course, I was writing on the whiteboard and looking into my monitor. The words were all backwards. I was thinking, boy, I hope you're not seeing this like I am. Relaxing your shoulders. And if you close your eyes, if your balance feels good here, you can bring your focus down into the body. And just notice if you're holding tension in your lower back or your abdomen. And feel your belly breathe. From here, I'm going to attempt to come into warrior three with my arms behind me. So as you bring your hands down now, we're tipping out over the right leg. And reaching through fingertips and toes. Nice and steady. And we're going to come back out of warrior three into warrior one. So when you're ready, the back leg comes back down, arms come back up, And then we'll step together. A little bit. And we're at the back of the mat. Right thigh is open a little bit. Left leg is forward. So find your stance. Hands are on the hips. And we're bending down into the left knee and straightening. Okay. I know my front foot is cutting off, but I'm checking that my knee is ending at my ankle. Healthy movement for knees. And the next time the front leg is straight, the hands are at the heart, fingertips forward. Let's inhale, come forward and reach. Exhale and pull back. Good. Big breaststroke movement. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back. All right, one more. Good. And this time, as the knee bends, the arms are going to come up by the ears. So coming to our warrior one position, shoulders are relaxed. And again, you might close your eyes, bring your awareness down into your belly, and just practice some nice soft belly breathing here. And we're getting ready to transition into the warrior three. So if your eyes are closed, they open now. Let's bring the arms back as we start to tip out over the left foot. Fingers and toes reaching. Nice and strong. So this is very strengthening for feet. Legs and back, obviously. And we're coming back through warrior one. So when you're ready, back leg down, arms up. And then step together. Take a little walk. Let's find that block again. We're going to take a wide stance and we're going to open up the squatting leg so the thighs will rotate open. And let's just practice a few squats, bending down into the knees. And we're going to get ready for our windmill twist. So next time you're up, we're going to tip at the hip joint, so nice and long out over your block. And then let the heels of your hands fall to the block. So the block should be right under the sternum, right under the heart. And before we twist, let's lunge a little bit. So we're bending opposite knees here. And then coming into center, both knees are straight. And we're going to take the left forearm and place it in the lower back. Let your belly turn left, the chest turn left, and then the left arm lifts to the ceiling. Yeah, just holding again for about 5 breaths. And then the left hand will come back to the block. Good. And the right forearm feeds into the lower back. Belly turns right. Chest turns right. Right arm lifts. Good. 5 breaths here. And you might feel that the heel of the hand presses the block away as the fingertips reach to the ceiling. Good. And then let's close. Bring the hand back to the block and lunging again. Good. Neutral legs. Hands come back up onto the sacrum. Bend your knees, press in. Come up. Step together and let's walk the feet. Good. And now we're going to come back to chair legs. And we're going to have the legs together. So sometimes we do chair from neutral legs from our mountain pose, and sometimes we do it with the legs closed, right? They're just a little different. Hands are on the hips. And bend down into your knees. And bring your sit bones back. So I'm going to have my hands now resting on my quads, lowering the sit bones, squeezing the thighs together. And then press into your feet, come up. Step the feet back to hip distance apart. Okay, again, bend your knees. Sit back. This time we're going to bring the arms up by the ears. So, Utkatasana, chair pose, means actually fierce pose. Three more breaths, you got it. And then let's come back up. All right, well, we're up here. Let's do one more thing. We're going to do our abdominal squeeze or Agnisara practice. Okay. So, softening down into the knees, the hands are resting above the knees. And always take a moment before you start. Don't rush right into the practice. First, feel your low back lengthen, belly relax. Take a nice big inhalation. As you exhale, the pelvic floor lifts and squeeze, the low abdomen draws in, the navel draws in. And as you inhale, relax the navel, low abdomen, pelvic floor. Okay, let's do about 10 of these. Keep going. Good. And then whenever you get to 10, you can go ahead and stand back up. Okay, and from here, let's move down onto the floor. We're going to move into our staff pose. Staff pose means the legs are straight out in front. Okay, and pay a little attention to our ankles now. So we're going to start drawing big circles up on the ceiling with the big toes. And then rolling it the other way. And flex, press through your heels and point. Good. Now we're going to do some, these are actually hip rolls. We're going to see if we can roll the thighs open so the little toes point down towards the floor. Your little toes might touch, mine are hovering. And then we're going to roll the thighs in so the big toes look at each other. So it seems that the feet are doing most of the work, but it's actually up in the thighs. Roll open. Good, little toes pressing. And then roll close, big toes look at each other. Good, so you can feel the work happening here. One more time. Roll open. Little toes press. And roll closed. So hold, press, press, press. And relax the legs. Shake out your feet, shake out your legs. And then we're going to move into our butterfly pose. And we're going to hold it in a yin style, meaning we're going to try holding butterfly for about 4 minutes. Okay. So let's bring the soles of our feet together. Good. And in a yin version of this, we might have the heels a little further away, right? We don't have to go as close as they come. We're out comfortable distance. Good. You might have your block nearby in case you want it as a prop. We're going to come long over the legs. Okay. And we're looking for that place where the body stops. Again, if dropping your head makes you feel dizzy, it can be right here. Otherwise, if I want to start rounding my spine, my shoulders are falling and my head is. Okay. 4 minutes might feel like a while. So if dropping your head strains the neck at all, we may want to support the head. So I could put my forehead in my palms, or I could rest my chin in my palms. Or if you want to take a block and kind of put it on your feet, you could stack forearms and rest your forehead there. Okay. So just coming to a place where the neck is comfortable. All right, this is about hips, inner thighs. You want to make sure the neck is protected. And when you've found your setup, you can let your eyes close and just start to feel your body in this posture. We don't need to look for words to describe it, but just start to move your awareness through your body, paying attention to what you're feeling from the inside. So what sensations are there? Probably specifically in hip joints and the sacral area, maybe inner thighs as well. And as you're being with those sensations, expand your awareness to the rest of your body and let those other places that aren't really involved in the posture relax. So are your hands gripping your feet or are they soft? And your forehead and your jaw and your upper back. And you can start to see your upper body falling towards the floor. So we're not pulling ourselves down. It's just gravity. We're just dropping. We're just letting go of resistance. And as your body becomes very heavy and soft, we can start to move our awareness to the movement of our breath. So feel the inhalation come in through your nose, travel down to your navel. Then you might even feel a little bit of lifting in the upper body. And then exhaling from the navel, up and out through the nose. We're going to hold this for 10 more breaths.
So if you'd like to make those ocean breaths, we're still following the pathway from the nostrils to the navel, and then the exhalation pathway from the navel out through the nostrils. But you can constrict the throat a bit and listen to the sound of your breathing. So it's our ocean breath or ujjayi breath. Keep going. A few more breaths. And when you're ready to come up, let your hands help you. So start to walk back towards your body with the hands, head and shoulders lifting. And maybe we're going to help the legs come back to staff pose. And again, wiggling your toes, rolling your ankles. And just moving that energy back down into the feet. And now we're going to bend the knees and have the soles of the feet on the floor. And you can lean back into your hands. Let's start to slowly tip the knees right and left. Again, things might be a little stiff from that long hold. That's good. And we're going to bring this into our twisting motion. So as the knees drop to the left, the right arm comes across the body and we're looking over the left shoulder. And then back to neutral. And knees drop right. Left arm across the body and look over your shoulder. So just keep going. You can be in continuous motion if that feels nice, or you can hold the twist for a moment, breathe. And one more time each side. Okay, from here now, let's come into table. And we're just going to do a few spinal waves or cat and cow movements. So setting up with your wrists under your shoulders, knees under the hips. And we're just dropping the sit bones down, pressing the floor away. Drop your head, cat. And then lifting the sit bones, releasing the front of the body to the floor and looking forward, cow. And just moving along with your breath. Guiding your awareness up and down the length of the spine. And next time you're at a neutral back, big toes touch, knees open. Let's come to an open leg child's pose. Good. So bring your sit bones back by your heels. Let your belly and chest fall to the floor. And it feels good here. You can wiggle your fingers and move your wrists a bit. And then when you're ready, let's slide out onto our bellies. And we're going to have our hands by the rib cage. So just like our cobra hand.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing some moving cobras. So from here, lift your head and shoulders and turn and look to your left. Good. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring the head down. The nose will just brush across the mat. And then inhale, lift the head and shoulders, look right. Again, softly lower, the nose brushes the mat. Good. And just keep moving. So hands are just there to steady you. We're not pressing into the hands. This is upper back strength. And let's look up to each side one more time. And now we're going to come to either Sphinx pose or to a supported cobra. We're only going to be there for 5 breaths, so it depends on what suits you better. I might step up to my cobra, or I'm sorry, my Sphinx arms, or a little more extreme up onto the palms. Good. And just 5 breaths here. And then from either Sphinx pose or from your supported cobra, let's come back to child's pose, sit bones back. Good. Walk yourself. And just softly folding over the legs. And then when you're ready, start to walk your hands towards your body. And so for our last posture, we're going to be doing a reclined twist. Okay. So when you're ready, you can come back down onto the floor. And we'll be holding on each side for probably 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. So when you're ready, you're lying down on your back. Knees are bent, soles of the feet are on the floor, and the palms are just resting alongside. Let's start by tipping the knees. Then when you're ready, let's bring the right leg over the left. So crossing your legs just like you would do in a chair, right thighs on the top of the left. And then we're going to pick up the whole pelvis, slide the whole pelvis a little bit right. So just kind of scooch a little bit to your right. And then the right knee is dropping to your left. So you're kind of rolling towards your left hip. And you'll find a place where it feels good to stop. Your knee may be on the floor. Mine's a good 8 inches off the floor. And then you can pick up your head if you'd like and turn and look over your right shoulder. Okay, as best you can, the right shoulder is staying relaxed. Again, if the shoulder is off the floor, it's okay unless it's straining. Then you might bring the arm to rest on your side. Okay, so just relaxing here. If you want a little bit more from this, the left hand could be on the outside of the right knee, and you could be just gently weighting the legs towards the floor. Okay, awareness is in the belly, long, deep breaths. And softening your forehead and eyes.
allowing the body to sink into the floor. And 5 more breaths. And then as you're ready, let your head roll back to neutral first, so your eyes are looking at the ceiling. Okay. And then very gently, we're rolling back onto the pelvis. Let's let your knees lift, legs uncross. Okay. And we can pick the whole pelvis up as we did before and kind of scooch back to the center of the mat. Let your knees tip. And now we'll be crossing the legs the other way. So the left thigh is on top. The whole pelvis lifts and scooches a little bit to the left. And left knee is falling right. So you're rolling towards your right hip. And once the legs are settled, you might pick up your head and look out over your left shoulder. Again, if you want to wait the twist, the right hand could rest on the left outer knee or down on the floor. And with your eyes closed, again, you're surveying your body. Checking in with the feet, the hands, forehead and jaw. Breathing into the belly. Okay, 5 more breaths. And as you start to come out, first the head comes to neutral, eyes are up on the ceiling, and then slowly roll back onto the back of your pelvis, uncross your legs. And then we can push into the feet, bring the full pelvis back to the center of the mat. And let's take our legs long. So straighten your legs, press out through your heels, and we'll move into a full body stretch. Arms overhead. Good. So wiggle your fingers and wrists, wiggle your toes, move your ankles. And then from here, we're moving into wind reliever. So drawing the knees up. If you'd like to come to the open leg version, knees are moving in towards your hips instead of the navel. Whichever feels nicer. Let's roll out the lower back. And then from here, we're going to start to get ready for our relaxation. So if there's any last movement or stretch you would like to do, go ahead and do that now. You can always move into a happy baby if you like, or if you want to just bring the legs up to the ceiling. Good. So take a moment or two for any last movements or stretches your body would like. And then we'll get ready to lie in Shavasana. Okay. So let me get the studio lights down here. Then when you feel ready, you start to bring yourself out onto the floor. We're rolling our shoulders open, letting the backs of the hands rest alongside. Maybe bringing the shoulders down a little bit away from the ears. When you feel comfortable, start to let your body be still. Let your eyes close and let awareness move into the body. So getting a sense of the floor underneath you. And little by little, allowing the floor to hold the weight of your body. And however you describe it, there's a feeling of kind of maybe melting into the floor or sinking into your mat. But there's a real describable feeling to letting the floor hold you. And now bring your awareness down into your toes. So we're going to start at the bottom today. And begin to relax all the little joints in your toes. Relax across the tips of your toes. Softening into the arches. Across the tops of your feet. And into your ankles. Relaxing the calf muscles, shins, knees. Softening the muscles in your thighs. So relaxing the inner thighs, backs of the legs, the sides of the legs. And focusing on the fronts of the legs. Relax into your hip joints. Softening the glutes. The low abdomen. Relax your lower back. And let go of your lower back. Softening the abdomen. And just feeling the abdomen rise and fall as you breathe. Notice if you can feel the sides of your waist expand and contract as you breathe as well. And then relaxing through the mid back, up into the space between the shoulder blades. Relax your shoulders. Softening across the chest. Softening the space around the heart. Relax your shoulder joints and upper arms, elbows, lower arms and wrists. Soften your hands. And just feel the place where the backs of your hands touch the floor. The fingers are gently curled. Again, softening through the fingers and hands. Travel through the wrists, up into the elbows. Travel up into the shoulders. And then softening the sides of your neck, the back of your neck. Relax your throat. And as your throat relaxes, soften your tongue and allow the tongue to fall from the roof of the mouth if that's where it is. Soften into the insides of your cheeks. And just feel the jaw relax, the teeth part. Move your awareness around your ears, across the back of your head. Soften your eyes, your forehead, all the way up into the crown. And as you feel the place where the back of your head rests on your cushion or blanket, let the head be heavy. So we feel the place where the head touches the cushion. We feel the place where the two eyelids touch. And the place where the two lips touch. And so the whole body rests. And on the inhalation, feeling the breath move in and fill you. And on the exhalation, the breath empties and you soften even more deeply. So just following the inhalation and exhalation. Good. Take a few more breaths. And then we'll get ready to move to our meditation posture. Good. So keeping the body soft and the breath long. You can roll to your side and come up to your seat.
And you know just how it feels to have the shoulders relaxed, the neck long, and the face serene. The hands are resting on the legs. You can have the pointer finger and thumb touching. And just as you did in your butterfly posture, get a sense of what it feels like from the inside in your seated meditation pose. Notice the place where the sit bones touch, your cushion, the place where the feet touch. That place where the hands are resting on the legs. Notice where your tongue is touching inside your mouth. And then even more subtly, notice where your breath is touching the inside of your nose. The moment when the coolness of the inhalation strikes the skin inside the nose. And the sensation of the exhalation, more warm and moist as it travels out of the nose. Now allow the sound of the mantra to come forward. So as you're experiencing your body inhale here in your own mind, so, and as you experience your body exhaling here, hum, inhale, so, exhale, hum. And we have such an experience of ourselves all day doing things. Right? From the time we get up till we go to bed, we're doing something. So having an experience now of yourself not doing anything. You are just resting within yourself. You start to get the feeling that you're not even making the sound of the mantra happen, but that it's just sounding on its own. And as you rest here, you're listening. Completely still in this moment. And if thoughts start to drift into your mind, which they tend to do, you have the ability to tell them, not now. I'll deal with whatever these needs are later. And just let the thought continue on and disappear. So sometimes when we're in meditation, we start to get kind of stressed by this feeling that we need to push thoughts away. And pushing away is not helpful. What we'd rather do is see if those thoughts can just drift right through us. They're there, we know they're there, and we just let them go. No pushing, no effort. And I started this little trick that worked well for me. So sometimes if you sit to do your meditation, there's one thought that just won't leave you alone. All right, sometimes they're very strong. It's more than just kind of a passing cloud. So if you have a thought that's very strong that won't go away, I started to visualize in front of me a bookshelf. And I would take that thought and I would place it on the shelf for later. So I wasn't dismissing it or ignoring it. It was there. But I could see myself just kind of putting it on the shelf for safekeeping for after my practice. So you might find something like that that kind of helps you let go. Because oftentimes our consciousness will present us with things we need to think about. You know, some thoughts are junk, others are things we really do need to think about. And there's a lot that comes forward when we're quiet. We would just like to kind of acknowledge what those thoughts are. And then later, when we're not in our meditation practice, think about them. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And then we want to start to gently bring ourselves from this observer back to a doer. Okay, so we're transitioning gently by taking control of the breath and taking a few deep breaths, taking control of the body and wiggling. Good. Opening up your senses to the room around you and being aware of the room around you. Let's warm our palms. Cover the eyes. And opening our eyes is kind of the final stage of that moving back out. So the eyes open and the hands come away when you're ready. Well, thank you all so much for joining me this morning. Our first snow. Namaste. Have a great week.
Thank you, Tracy.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good week too.
Yep,
Thank you,
too.
Tracy. Take care. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very welcome.